I think this is like the 4th presence sensor I have featured for LinknLink now, but this one is insane. And I know I've probably said that about the previous ones, but this is literally mental. This presence sensor, the Ultra, is in fact a full-blown smart home hub because you can connect other devices to it, such as door and window sensors, and temperature and humidity sensors, as well as the fact that this thing has a built-in infrared blaster for controlling things like your TV and your set-top box and your aircon, in my case.
Alexa,
Turn the TV on.
Alexa,
Set Ultra air conditioner to 21 degrees.
The AC is set to 21.
But of course, it's also a presence sensor, which means it will detect movement not only as you enter a room, but also as you enter specific zones of that room. So I've got a sofa zone that will trigger a different automation if I sit down there from the one that happens if I go and sit at my desk. And yes, this one looks exactly the same as the previous ones. It works with Amazon Alexa, not only for voice, but also for routines, so you can do all sorts of stuff with that with no technical knowledge whatsoever. It works with Home Assistant in lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different ways, and it works in Home Assistant entirely locally without an internet connection over MQTT for infrared blasting, for presence sensing, and for temperature and humidity, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It works with Google Home, even though I'm, kind of disappointed in Google Home. I'm more disappointed in Google Home than I was that time I tried to open the briefcase in Pulp Fiction.
We happy? Vincent? We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
Look, you guys know you can get this on the internet now, right? Not that big of a deal.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
All right, Jesus. No one on Not Wanted? And if you don't want to make a separate purchase for a temperature and humidity sensor, don't worry, there's one built into the power cable that comes with it. What? Thanks to LinknLink for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their E-motion Ultra presence sensor. This isn't a presence sensor, it's a full-blown smart home hub. And unlike the previous model, it actually advertises its infrared blasters to Home Assistant along with all the temperature, humidity data, and of course the presence sensor data too. So if you're a Home Assistant fan, this thing just became the biggest tool in your arsenal. It is you who is the biggest tool in my arsenal! Alright, that one was pretty good. This thing isn't just a presence sensor anymore. It is a full Bluetooth smart home hub capable of connecting contact sensors, temperature and humidity sensors, and in the near future, more devices too. I've featured previously their E-motion Pro and their E-motion Max, and now we have the E-motion Ultra. I assume the next device is going to be called the E-motion Ultra Max Pro Elite Plus Turbo 360 Nano ZX.
Sponsorship cancelled. Sponsorship cancelled. Sponsorship.
But if you are just simply a user of Amazon Alexa, then they have actually made the claim that you could do the following for an elderly relative. Be on the other side of the planet and still help them change the TV channel. This is just with that thing on its own, no additional stuff, just that one little hub. And that's if he's got Sky or Virgin, anything that uses an infrared remote can be controlled. And the same thing with his aircon if he's getting too hot or too cold. If they've got aircon, you can just change the aircon remotely using your phone on your app. Or even have an automation that does it for you based on the temperature of the room, because this thing also has a built-in temperature and humidity sensor. From the other side of the planet, you can tell how bright it is in their room, what the temperature of their room is, whether they are in their room, what part of their room they're sat in, and whether their door is open or closed, just with that one device and a little contact sensor that you can buy separately and add to it. If your grandparent has lost all dexterity, has no memory, can't use a remote control anymore, you could literally set up a routine that says, when he sits in his armchair, turn the TV on for him automatically. You can even have it select his favorite TV station there and then. This is hugely important technology, and it is so easy now to program up the remotes, it's ridiculous. Now, the last time I told you guys about that routine where I sit on the sofa and it turns the TV on and switches it to Netflix and does all that cool stuff, a few of you said, "You idiot! What if my wife and I have friends over for a soiree? My house would be chaos!" You don't have a wife. I have a wife! You've seen my wife! Isn't that right, wife? Yes! I should point out, he's right if you're using Amazon Alexa or Google Home. If you're using Home Assistant, you can do all this stuff by saying, if there is one person in the room, run this routine. If there are multiple people in this room, don't run this routine. That way, anytime I have people over, it counts 2 people, or 3 people, or 4 people, and simply doesn't run that routine. The next time I come in on my own, it does. Now, a lot of the stuff I've just done requires Home Assistant and quite a bit of nerdery. Bespoke configuration.yaml files! And although you can't achieve quite the same level of nerdery with Amazon Alexa and Google Home, you can't, for example, say, if there are 2 people in the room, then do this set of things, and if there's 1 person in the room, do this set of things. That's very much a Home Assistant thing. You'll be surprised at just how many things you can actually do with Amazon Alexa and Google Home with very little technical expertise at all. On your screen right now is a table of all the things you can do with Amazon Alexa and Google Home and Home Assistant. Pause now if you're interested in the absolute minutiae of what you can do with this thing and what you can't do with this thing. So you can install this presence sensor in your granddad's room and give him complete privacy because you can't tune into it like it's a camera, but have it do things like turn lights on when he enters a particular part of the room, and you can measure whereabouts in a room he is. But not only that, because it can connect to these things, you could put this on his door, and even at your own house nowhere near your granddad, you can ask the question, is Granddad's front door open?
Granddad's front door is open.
How cool is that? Is Granddad's front door open?
Granddad's front door is closed.
This is an incredible way of automating pretty much an entire room for a very, very, very cheap price tag. That's probably why they put this guy in their marketing material. This is real.
Do we really need to have so many devices? Do we really need to have so many devices? Now you have a single device that does it all. The E-motion Ultra.
Sponsorship cancelled. Sponsorship.
Now, a few of you had mentioned that the stand on the previous model was a bit flimsy, and, you're right, but... Behold, the majesty of blue tack. Seriously, I mean, they don't weigh anything. I had this thing stuck up for like 6 months, and people were like, the stand, who cares? It's blue tacked up. If you were one of those people, then behold the majesty of an improved stand, I guess. Point it downwards from a shelf. Point it upwards from your desk. Stick it to a fridge. LinknLink's new improved stand. So much more, and yet exactly the same as using some blue tack. Is it any good for presence detection? That is its main function. Well, yes, I've had it in this room for 3 full days now, and if I come and sit over here, it turns these lights on, and if I go and sit over there, it puts it in chill out mode. If I leave, I sounded like Brian from Automate Your Life. Chill out. If you go out of this door, it turns the room off, and if you come in this door, it turns the room on. It hasn't failed me once in 3 days. It's been absolutely awesome. It does matter where you position it. It should be in the corner of the room. It preferably should be quite high up. It should be pointed a little bit down, I think, at least in my case, and then you need to get the settings right. My settings are on the screen for you now, though yours might differ depending on your room. It is important to have a play with these things if it isn't working properly.
That's what she said.
I think it's also really important to point out, I had a lot of people complaining in the previous videos saying that they got it and it wasn't as good as I made out. It is. I think what is happening is people are using their own power supplies and then they're bitching in the comments that it doesn't work properly. It is super important that you have a 5-volt 2-amp power supply for this thing that you're plugging it into. Don't plug it into anything else and then come complaining to me it doesn't work properly. It does work properly. I've been using it for 3 days straight without an issue. One of the other comments I had a lot on the previous videos was, I have a dog and it's the size of a human being. Will it trigger the device?
Why is your dog so big? I'm never coming to your house.
Yes, get a smaller dog. So, one of the options in the LinknLink app is that you can actually set the device height in the app, and then you can set the maximum and minimum detection heights so that it won't be triggered by things under a certain height. I don't have a dog, so maybe if I put one of those green morph suits on and I bound around a kind of dog height, and then I could afterwards replace the green morph suit with CGI, or put a CGI dog in. That would look weird, right?
You're watching a man pretend to be a dog that says as much about you as it does about him.
At least one person you know is into this. Sexually. Where's the CGI dog? Paul from the future, where's the CGI dog? Run out of budget, mate. This is because I slept with your wife, isn't it? Yes, it is. Anyway, it didn't seem to matter how high or how low I set the minimum and maximum height settings. It detected my dogging around literally the entire time. That setting doesn't work. I've contacted LinknLink and said, what's the deal with this thing? It doesn't seem to do anything. And I'm waiting for a response. As soon as I have one, I shall let you know in the description. And if they answer me and I test it and it works between now and then here's Paul from the future. Did it work? Nope. And they're going to remove the option entirely because it doesn't work properly. If you've got a pet, I suggest that you just accept that your dog is going to turn the lights on. There you have it. All right, Paul from the further future. You can tell because of all the flying cars. So I thought it was worth mentioning that if you have Home Assistant, you could set up a routine that said, if I'm out of the house, disable all of the automations related to this device. That way, if you leave the house and your dog's running about doing stuff, it's not wasting electricity by turning the lights on at that point. You can't, of course, stop it when your dog is in the house and you're in the house. I mean, you have a human-sized dog, that's on you. So yeah, ways and means. There are ways and means around this sort of thing. On with the show. So what else is wrong with it? Let's find out. Here's the first elephant in the room. It is a smart home hub, but it's only capable of listening to 2 devices currently. So it can only listen to door contact sensor / window sensor and a temperature and humidity sensor. They are the only 2 external devices, and that's proprietary. So it's not a smart home hub in the sense that you can connect a whole bunch of different stuff to it from other manufacturers. It is proprietary in the sense that you can only connect LinknLink devices to this smart home hub. They will eventually be rolling out Matter to this thing, at which point it might be able to communicate with more things, but at the end of the day, this costs about the same as a car's FP2 presence sensor does. And this is a presence sensor with an infrared blaster built into it that can communicate directly with Home Assistant over MQTT and Amazon Alexa and Google Home. And it does the whole Bluetooth Lite edition thing with connecting to its own separate devices, which is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that it costs so little money to do all of these different things. You can, of course, control other people's stuff through Home Assistant or Amazon Alexa or Google Home. You just can't connect those things directly to it. The range on the external sensors isn't great either. It's best suited really to like a care home environment where if you've got an elderly relative in one single room, you could put the contact sensor on his door and of course never worry about it going offline. I found though that if I'd got the presence sensor, if I'd got the main device in my dining room, it was really flaky at my front door for the contact sensor, and it wouldn't really be probably useful if you've got a large home. My back door, it was fine because, you know, it's closer, so they might work for you, but just bear in mind, the range on them isn't that great. Again, if you're in a small location, if you just wanted it across a couple of rooms, it'd be fine. It doesn't work with Apple HomeKit. Their marketing material has the little "Hey Siri" logo on it. but what are you going to at it for? I mean, it's a presence sensor primarily. I mean, it communicates the other direction. You're going to need to use either Amazon Alexa, or if you are an Apple HomeKit user, you can connect this thing to Home Assistant and then connect Home Assistant to Apple HomeKit, and then you'll have the full range of everything. That's definitely the way to do it. If you're an Apple HomeKit user and you don't already have Home Assistant, you're missing out on so many cool devices. Get Home Assistant. So, it's a video here. Here, there's a video here. Go check it out. So the contact sensor, you'll find if you open it, it takes about 3 seconds before Home Assistant knows about it. And it takes about 5 or 6 seconds before Amazon Alexa and Google Home know about it. And then the temperature and humidity sensor has a 5-minute delay. So if the temperature changes, you'll find it's 5 minutes before Home Assistant knows about it, and probably even longer in Amazon Alexa and Google Home. LinknLink are looking at the second of those things. So they said that they can reduce the 5-minute delay, and they know why that is. The first thing, the delay with the contact sensor, they say that's inevitable. That's part of Bluetooth. It can't be any faster for this device specifically. So that's worth noting. The contact sensor works great in Home Assistant, but at time of filming, doesn't work at all in Amazon Alexa or Google Home, which is kind of a blow. Paul from the future, have they fixed that before this video goes out? Yep, they've fixed it in Alexa, but it's still broken in Google. There you have it.
Where Google, just pop us in a bin.
And finally, just some limitations of Alexa. If you were hoping to use the temperature or the humidity in a routine to make something happen, you can't. That's not a LinknLink problem, that's an Alexa problem. You can't do that as an Alexa routine. Stupid. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. It's been years. Similarly, you can't create a routine in Alexa that says if the ambient light is below a certain level and there is suddenly presence, then turn a light on. You can have presence detected and turn a light on in Amazon Alexa routines. You can't have two triggers. You can't say if the light is below a certain level, which is a shame because this sensor has the capability to do that. You can do that in Home Assistant. This thing has a built-in light sensor too. With all that said, you're not going to get a smart home hub this cheap that does all of those things and is that small. It is utterly ridiculous that it can do all of the things that it can do, and if you're a Home Assistant fan, it's huge. This is a huge breakthrough in technology. And as I said before, if you have an elderly relative that you want to look after, install one of these things and a contact sensor on the door and a humidity sensor at the other side of their room, and you will know everything that is going on in that room without harming their privacy, and you'll be able to help them out remotely with setting the TV going and changing the temperature of the room if they have aircon. As long as it's an infrared remote control, this thing can control it. As usual, there are links in the description as to where you can pick one up. In the meantime, I need to thank these incredible people running up your screen, and I know I say it every single week, but they are my patrons from Patreon, and without them, this channel wouldn't exist. I'm thanking one personally every week, and I have two new ones again. I am so lucky. David Sheshik and Gary Rowe. Thank you guys so much. If you want to be like those guys or like those guys, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I would genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my X, and my Threads, and my Instagrams, and my TikToks. Come on, hang out there, I can be best friends. See you next time.